Good morning, everyone. We are excited to bring you reading this morning on Saturday, November 14th. We are joined by two fantastic readers. First, we're going to have Jim. He's going to be sharing a book, and Jim is a professor, teacher at Messiah University and Messiah College. I'm sorry. and he teaches American history, and we're glad that he's here. He's been teaching for about 22 years. He has a fantastic book to share with us. And we also have Liz Perez, and Liz is going to be reading as well. And she works for UPMC Pinnacle, and she's an interpreter and translator and a good friend of mine. We've known each other for a solid 15 plus years, and just a fantastic person, community and heavily community involved. And we just really appreciate both of them taking time out of their schedule to share with us today. We're going to hear from Jim first. And Jim, what do you have to share with us this morning?
Floyd, I have Eric Carle's The Very Lonely Firefly.
Wonderful.
So kids, I'm glad to be able to spend the part of this morning with you, and glad to be able to share this book with you. It's been one of my favorites and favorites of my kids. So let's get started with The Very Lonely Firefly. As the sun set, a little firefly was born. It stretched its wings and flew off into the darkening sky. You see the little firefly right there? I hope you can see it on your screen. There's the firefly and there's the darkening sky. It was a lonely firefly, and it flashed its light searching for other fireflies. The firefly saw a light and flew toward it, but it was not a firefly. It was a light bulb lighting up the sky. Do you see that light bulb right here inside the window? The firefly saw a light and flew toward it, but it was not another firefly. It was a candle flickering in the night. The firefly saw a light and flew toward it, but it was not another firefly. It was a flashlight shining in the night. The firefly saw a light and flew toward it, but it was not another firefly. It was a lantern glowing in the night. The firefly saw several lights and flew toward them, but they were not other fireflies. There was a dog and a cat. The cat is going meow, hiss, and an owl, their eyes reflecting the lights. The firefly saw a light and flew toward it, but it was not another firefly. It was a car's headlights flooding the night. The firefly saw many lights and flew toward them, but they were not other fireflies. They were fireworks, sparkling and glittering and shimmering in the night. So many different fireworks. When it was all quiet, the firefly flew through the night, flashing its light, looking and searching again. Then the very lonely firefly saw what it had been looking for. A group of fireflies shining their lights. You see all of the fireflies here. And I don't know if you can see it, but the book has little lights and the tail of the fireflies are flickering. So our lonely firefly saw this group of fireflies shining their lights, and now the firefly wasn't lonely anymore. The end. That is Eric Carle's The Very Lonely Firefly.
what a fantastic book. And of course, we love Eric Carle in this household, a classic. So thank you. We're going to talk about that after Liz shares her book. Just a wonderful, wonderful book. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. All right, Liz.
I'm here, but I think you stopped my video.
Okay, Madison is going to go ahead on and start it back up.
Okay.
I think you can just hit start video and go ahead on and
Oh, now I can.
click that.
It wasn't allowing me at first.
Okay.
So, yes, it wasn't allowing me at first.
Right.
Okay, so I'm ready. All right, so my book is called Why Should I Share by Mike Gordon. Mom was angry with me this morning. It was all about me not sharing. I want a turn. It's mine. First, I wouldn't share the holes. Isn't it time Jack had a turn with the holes? Then I wouldn't share the yo-yo. Let Jack have a turn now, Tim. And then I wouldn't share the cherries. Tim, share those cherries with Jack. They're for the both of you. See how grumpy he looks and how he's not sharing and eating all the cherries? Share, share, share. Why should I share? Mom said sharing is a kind thing to do. It shows that you are thinking about other people and not just about yourself. She said, what do you think will happen if you guys didn't share your toys? No one will ever want to play with you. And guess what? And guess what will happen if you don't share your snack? See how he's eating the snacks all by himself? Your friends won't like you anymore. You see how they're walking away? And what do you think will happen if you're mean to Jack and won't let him play with the yo-yo? I'll take it away and then nobody will have any fun. Huh. I was so mad I went next door to see the twins. Kay and Kathy are my best friends. They told me they had grown up sharing. They were sharing the ball. They were sharing, one was a doctor, one was a nurse, and they were sharing playing jump rope. They said sharing made things more fun. The three of us played together all afternoon, and I began to see what they meant. Sharing was more fun and friendlier too. Sharing can make things a whole lot better. I mean, what's the point of having a brand new Frisbee if you don't share it with a friend? And although it's great to have your own special pet, it's twice as good to share him with your friends. Sharing can also be useful. Some people share things now and then, and others share them all the time. I thought I could try a bit harder to share. After lunch, I was listening to my headphones and Jack was feeling left out. So I said, here, you can listen too. And Mom said, oh, Tim, that's sweet of you to share. Sharing is friendly and makes people happy. And there's another good thing about it too. Once you learn to share with others, they just might learn to share with you. The end.
Wonderful. Wow, what a lovely book, Liz.
I enjoyed
Sharing
that book.
is so important. You know, there's a saying that says, everything I need to know, I learned in kindergarten, right?
Correct.
And a big part of that is sharing. And knowing that, you know, what you want to tell the kids out here the importance of sharing and what you get out of sharing.
Well, I can tell you a story real quick. We had brothers and sisters, and one of my brothers didn't like to share. So my mom had bought a box of cookies, and she told him, she was trying to teach him how to share, and she gave him the box of cookies. But what he did is that he ran and hid with the box of cookies. She found him because he didn't want to share with us. So she found him. And what she did was that she finally caught him trying to put the cookie in his mouth. She took the cookie out of his hand. She gave everyone a cookie, but did not give him one. And she said to him,
Oh,
how do you feel that you didn't get a cookie?
yeah.
And then
Wow.
once
Wow.
he expressed his feelings, she gave him back the box, and then he gave us cookies. But yeah, so
Oh, wonderful.
sharing is very important. You know, when we share, it makes everyone, like the book says, it makes everyone happy. Because sometimes not everyone has
Yeah.
what you have. Sometimes we have jump ropes. Your friend may not have a jump rope. You may have a ball. They may not have a ball. So when you share and play with them, it makes them happy that you're sharing.
Yes. Wonderful. Jim, do you have a sharing lesson or story that you'd like to share?
I worry that maybe at one time when I was a little kid, I might have been that bad brother that was selfish. My parents taught me lessons like that too. But one of the things I
Well,
remember,
Jim,
one of the things I
I
remember
was going to say,
is,
we're glad you changed your ways.
well, I think the way we change our ways is when someone else shares with us, and we see how good it is when someone else is kind to us, is generous to us, and we realize how good that makes us feel, and then we want to turn that around and help somebody else feel good and be kind and generous with another person.
Mhm.
Yes. Wonderful. Yeah. So, and Jim, the very lonely firefly, went on a journey, and eventually he found, you know, the that which makes him happy. What connected you to that book, and why did you decide to share that this morning?
I can remember times in my life, including when I was little, that I maybe didn't have that friend, didn't have that other light, that other firefly, that other friend that I could connect with. But I remember whether it was at school or at church or in the neighborhood, when I did find that friend, sometimes after searching, just like the lonely firefly, you're walking around your neighborhood, you're looking for someone to play with and to be a friend to. And I remember how good it felt, just like our lonely little firefly isn't lonely at the end and is so happy and so content. I remember times in my life when I felt that too, and how happy and content I was when I found a friend and found someone to be with and to play with and to talk with and to share with.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, you guys, you would think that you coordinated your stories, right? With the life lessons there, and thank you all so much. And you know, and back to the sharing part, you know, it says, you know, it's better to give than to receive. And, studies show that, kids, youth, and adults are happier when they give back, right? And help others. So we get out of our own problems, right? And help others is when we're happier, right? And have you found that, Liz?
That's when we help others. Now, in my job, we're always helping people, whether they need clothing, they need food. But we work in I work in the hospital. So if they need a doctor, then we make sure that they are able to see the doctor that they need to see. And if they can't get there, we help them get there. Sometimes we'll give them a taxi voucher, a bus pass. So we are always giving to those that need to come to the hospital. So yeah, so it's very rewarding to see someone who doesn't feel well get better because of the help we gave them. Yeah.
And you just said something really, really important in that you're not just treating them for the illness, the diagnosis, you're helping them in many other ways.
Mm-hmm.
With the bus pass. What does a bus pass have to do with health, right? And why are you doing it? Because you're meeting them where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and you understand that their needs go beyond the health aspect.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah. And there's sometimes they can't pay for their medicines. Yeah. And if they can't pay for their medicines, they can't get better. So we help them pay for their medicines.
Yeah. And Jim, with you working, and being a part of a wonderful institution at Messiah, for 22 years. And I know you've seen that kind of generosity with your students, right? It's not just about them turning in their paper, right? It goes beyond that.
Absolutely. So different people with different gifts and different things that they're good at and ways they want to serve, they can offer different things. Help in finding a doctor, help in getting social services or finding a bus, but also help with a lesson, help with understanding a book or a poem or learning how to read. And so I focus more on those kinds of things. But the other thing I was thinking about, just listening to you, Floyd and Liz, is that I think it makes a difference when we're doing this in person too. When there's a relationship there. And that relationship is a little difficult now in our time with social distancing, but we're looking forward to the time when we can connect with people more. Because I really believe that's one of the things that's one of our purposes in life, is to help other people in ways that they need help, but also just to connect with them, to be a person to another person, and to be with them and to get to know them and to establish a relationship. And that's one of the things I love about education and about teaching, is getting to know other students and building a relationship with them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you both for sharing. I'll stop there. Sharing your time this morning, and sharing your gifts and your reading and your time. I appreciate it greatly. It's been such a joy to listen to you read the stories and share stories and your life lessons. We thank you all for joining us on Reading 365. We're here every single day at 11 o'clock, reading until September 30th, 2021. So join us every single day, Reading 365, and listen to wonderful stories like Liz and James shared this morning. Thank you all so much. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.